Good morning. So today is March 4th, 2022, and last night the government did announce that TPS has been designated for Ukraine. This means that very shortly, Ukrainians who are physically present inside the United States will be able to apply for TPS. Let's break that down and talk about who is eligible, who's not eligible, and what benefits they will get under TPS. So the first thing that's very, very important to understand is in order to be eligible for TPS, you had to have been physically present in the United States as of March 1st. So if somebody is trying to get to the United States right now and trying to apply for TPS, they will not be eligible. You had to have been here on March 1st in order to be eligible for TPS. So that's going to disqualify people who are still outside the US trying to get in. Next, let's talk about what does TPS give you. Ukrainian TPS has been designated for a period of 18 months, and it will allow TPS holders to apply for work authorization as well as travel authorization that will enable them to come in and out of the United States. The travel authorization is tricky because people who travel on advanced parole are never truly guaranteed the ability to enter back into the United States. So it's usually a good idea to speak to an attorney and to minimize your risks that way before applying for and traveling on advanced parole as a TPS holder. But this is a long-term protection. It extends to people who currently have status in the United States. It extends to people who do not have status of any kind. So this is a really great benefit for people who are maybe visa overstays, people who were maybe in line for asylum. Those folks can still apply for TPS and get some interim benefits from that. And it's a good idea to speak to an attorney about how those two forms of relief compare. But TPS is going to be available very, very shortly. We're waiting for the Federal Register publication, and then they will have forms and instructions specific to TPS applications for Ukrainians. Now, what usually happens is the USCIS will put a special web page on their main website that talks about country-specific TPS. So if you go on the designation for TPS now, you only see other countries that have already been designated. And there's information on the USCIS website for how to apply from countries other than Ukraine. That information for Ukraine is going to be forthcoming. So we will have a better idea of what the procedure is going to look like. But generally speaking, in order to qualify for TPS, you need to show that you are here as of the date that the designation is made. So in this case, you have to show that you are here since March 1st, 2022. And you need to show that you are a citizen or national of the country that has been designated for TPS, in this case, Ukraine. And you need to show that you aren't firmly resettled in another country. That's a more nuanced legal issue, but typically people who are dual citizens or people that have permanent residence in another country other than Ukraine will generally not be eligible. So those are all things to think about. But another thing that I want to make very, very clear is I'm currently involved in efforts, and I know other organizations nationwide are working towards being able to offer TPS services to Ukrainian nationals on a pro bono basis. So we are organizing a day where you will be able to come to a place that will enable you to work with volunteer attorneys to apply for TPS. And so we are working on efforts here in Central Florida to make that possible. So this won't be going directly through my office. It's going to be going through a clinical program that I'm currently working on putting together with other attorney volunteers. So generally speaking, there's not a requirement that you rush to apply for TPS. There's a period by which you must apply. But if you would give us a few days to kind of organize these pro bono efforts, you may be able to benefit from those rather than having to go at the process alone or paying a private bar attorney to do it for you. As always, we are available for questions. If you will comment on the videos, we try to keep up with questions. And if there are common questions, we try to do more videos that will answer those common questions for everyone. Thank you very much, and we stand with Ukraine.